everybody. Andrew Perry from the Daily Reel, live from the MyTCN studios with Matthew Santagapita. What's up, man? How's it going? Thanks for coming down. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the invite.
All the way from London, Ontario.
Lovely London, Ontario.
I really appreciate it. Yeah. Did you say my former city?
The forest.
The forest city. I thought you said the former city because I went to college there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I lived on Thurman Circle. Yeah. So if you're familiar with
So you might have been
Thurman.
arrested.
No, but interestingly enough, I did get chirped from a cop one day. We were sitting in the garage, blaring tunes.
What else did you do?
Yeah, sitting on the couch on the roof, and a cop came up to me and he's like, "Whoa, would you turn down the music, flock of seagulls?" I guess I had my hair up because I was really hungover from the night before, but.
He was really chirping you.
Yeah, nobody wants to be called the singer from Flock of Seagulls. Well, I guess the whole band had the long hair, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, look, thanks. We got new mugs on the show, courtesy of Matt. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
And you brought a friend with you.
Yeah.
Who's that?
We got Carlin or Van Bun. He's part of our creative team.
Yeah.
So he's kind of the behind the scenes, I don't know, what are you? Video guy, blog creative dude. I'm not really sure. We're moving in a million directions, so he wears many hats.
Yeah. When did you hire him?
2 years ago? About that.
Yeah, I think because when I
2
added,
years ago?
Yeah.
Give or take a couple months.
Okay. Because when I added you to Facebook, you had already started doing the videos and everything like that.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, we're going to have Matt's links somewhere in the description, and you can go check out all his videos. It's really amazing, the consistency and the brand that you've created, Santa Sells, Santa Knows Best. How did that, well, I know how you kind of thought about that. It's right in your name, but
Yeah,
how
it's
did
in my
that
name,
come to
right?
be?
So I guess long story short, how the whole Santa piece got pulled into it is, I want to say, I bet you 8 or 9 years ago,
Yeah.
I actually started creating my brand name more around the city of London. And somebody that I went to high school with, oddly enough, sent me a Facebook message, and they're like, "I see what you're doing, and I think you're screwing it up." And I was like, "Okay, tell me more." And so then we kind of went back and forth, and I said, "Listen, what's a lot easier is, why don't we just go grab coffee, because clearly there's a conversation to be had here." So we went and had coffee.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I got to be honest, I think you're screwing up, because who can really use Santa for branding?
Mm-hmm.
You can't, right? Like
No.
it wouldn't work. It creates a lot of confusion. And some people are confused. It's like, Santa sells houses, Santa knows best. Like, what's the Santa bit? My last name's Santagapita. Oh, I get it. It's
Yeah.
done. Or people who know me, they make the connection quick and it works.
Right.
So then I hit the brakes and then started doing the whole Santa brand part. And it's still kind of, it's fun. If you have kids, it's dangerous, because some people, they'll call me Santa. They'll answer the phone, "Hey, Santa."
Yeah.
And if you got kids in the room, it's Bonkerville.
Yeah. Wait, who was he talking to? I spilled that cup of milk last night.
Yeah.
Don't tell me she reported that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, you have as you mentioned earlier on, you've got a ton of stuff in the works. But so,
Yeah.
What kind of other content? What kind of types of content are you putting out right now?
Well, before we do that,
Okay.
and actually this ties into that because,
All right.
so we brought something special, and we are going to enjoy one
jeez.
of these on air. So these are fritters.
Okay.
Real fritters, not like a donut fritter. This is a real Dutch fritter from the fritter shop in London.
Okay.
We met Calvin doing our Business of the Week segments.
Okay.
So that's where we go around the city and explore small, medium businesses, try and highlight what they're doing, and help give them legs, because when you can go and explore the city and you're not just, call it, tied to one pond, so to speak,
Yeah.
you can help bring exposure to these companies. So
Totally. I agree.
here are all the flavors. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then seasonal.
Oh, wow.
Pumpkin happens in the fall, and there's one thing we don't allow
wow.
is pumpkin. That's
Okay, so
apple.
So then
The
what?
heart one is lemon.
So then what's a fritter then?
It's a
if it's not a donut.
it's a frickin' delicious Dutch pastry.
It is. Okay, so what is this one?
That's apple.
What is this one? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Should we just bite into
I
it,
know
Mr. Allen?
that's lemon because I think it looks like a heart.
Okay.
Might be. I don't know. They're all right here. They're all delicious.
Do you want me to try this now?
Yeah,
Okay,
like
all
eat
right.
one.
Okay, I'm gonna try this one because I'm not a big lemon guy.
I had like 3 on the drive-in. They're addictive. Some
That's
people have been
delicious.
known to pick up half a dozen, and by the time they get to their car, they're gone.
They're gone.
Carlin
Oh
does
my
that.
gosh, I could almost imagine them when they're so fresh. But this is so good.
Yeah, we had to drive, right? So some of the heat is lost, clearly.
That's really good. I'll try not to like chew like so close to the
Yeah.
microphone. But
I'm not gonna have one,
like
but I'm
those
gonna have one.
YouTube
in a bit.
videos. Have you those YouTube videos? Have you ever seen that?
Which one? What do you
I
mean?
forget what they're called, but people are like,
Eating? Oh, and they're yeah.
"Hey, good morning.
Yeah.
This is Andrew from the Daily Real podcast, coming at you super quiet."
That's
You know what
creepy.
I mean? I'm gonna put this back. That's amazing. That's really good. So, I mean, I kind of did the same. Give him a plug. Give him a plug while we're here.
Well,
Where's
yeah.
it?
So I mean, so we brought you fritters from the fritter shop. They're also connected to the Dutch baker. Is it? I always forget. The Dutch baker is what his dad's bake shop's called.
Yeah.
And it's Calvin. It's super
Calvin.
awesome dude. Young guy, really trying to do a different twist
Cool.
on traditional Dutch pastries.
Yeah. You know what? I
Awesome
love
guy.
that. I love that. I love how there's so many younger people getting into their own business. I don't know if like entrepreneurship is like the cool thing now, or
I think some of
just-
it is.
right. Yeah.
Like it is. Like let's be honest. I mean, like
yeah.
everybody right now wants to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. I feel like I'm-
And I mean, some people should be. Probably some people shouldn't.
Shouldn't be, yeah.
Like, but it is exciting. I find it.
yeah,
it's
like a friend of
exciting.
mine's getting he just started. He got his own rental space and he just started making vegan gelato.
Yeah, why not?
Right. Like
There's a lot
where
of
did you get?
vegans.
Where did you get that? Like, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna make ice cream today. Well, gelato, but you know what I mean.
But it's like so vegan. Like
It's huge.
there's it's massive. But
my wife's vegan. 10
okay,
years.
can vegans drink milk?
No.
How do you make gelato? I don't honestly. I don't even
Well,
know.
gelato-
Like, what is it? It's like fruit and
Yeah.
frozen
So
water.
if Gabe, my wife, is
don't-
watching, she'll get mad because I should know this because we have it all the time. And but I don't know.
I don't know
There's
what's
no
like,
milk.
I have no
There's
idea.
No
So
milk.
there's no milk, so it's good
It's
for
like
vegans.
frozen. I don't know. Like you
Like there's got to be water in it.
blend the actual fruit. I
Yeah.
think. Like I don't know.
And
I really,
it's more like
I don't
like
know.
a sorbet,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
I guess. Yeah.
I also don't know what that is,
No,
but I know
don't.
what it is.
It's good.
You know?
I know that.
Yeah. So okay. So you started doing the highlighting businesses. So I know hopefully Calvin's not what, but what's your favorite one that you've seen so far?
My favorite business?
Yeah, the fritters or
The fritters are good.
yeah.
Like we really like fritters. You know what? That's a tough question. I don't.
Play favorites.
No, we really don't. We really don't. We try and stay as diverse as we can
I've
when it
noticed.
comes to our business of the week segment. We really do look at it like you don't want to get into like this, wormhole of like we're just doing restaurants and everybody loves food. Like that's an
course.
easy one to chase. It really is because you can show people food and I mean everybody will look at it, right? But the whole premise of business of the week is kind of two things. One is we want to explore the city. So I have a bit of a different belief of maybe what a realtor should be. A realtor is a connector.
Yeah.
That's my easiest way of explaining it. And I think our profession has lost that over the years because something called Google came around. And it's just been easier to look for a Google review, go to Yelp, do what, like,
That's right.
it back in the day before we were, inundated by all this awesome technology, realtors were some of the people that you would go to if it was like, I need an electrician, I need a plumber, I need a pool, I need a landscaper. Where do I take my wife for my anniversary dinner? Like that kind of stuff. Like
That's right.
and I feel like that stopped, right? So kind of going with that philosophy of a realtor as a connector, part of that is making sure we know exactly what's going on in our city. And when we started
Totally
doing the
agree.
business of the week, I'll be honest with you, I realized I don't know anything about my city. And then when you start thinking about it and talking about it, it's also not a shock. if you're in a big city, how do you know, and let's say if you live in the West End, how do you know what's going on in the East End? And if you're in the East End, how do you know what's going on in the West End?
Right.
Because we don't get around as much as we maybe think we do. I mean, we put kilometers on our cars to go to work, but we don't really go around and like, hey, what's this new craft beer place? Hey, what's this new bracelet shop? What's this new eco-friendly business? Like we don't really go and explore as much as we should. So we try and keep it as diverse as possible.
Well, that's good.
And we're having a blast. Like it is a lot
no,
of fun.
I'm watching all the videos. It seems like you guys are having a ton of fun. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to see what Matt's up to now. Next.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. May your dreams all come true. Happy birthday to you.
refuse to promote, report on anything negative in the community.
Hello everyone, my name is Jermaine Chambers, and I'm very excited to tell you about the newest political and current affairs program coming here to Brampton. It's called On Point.
The first step of true reconciliation is learning more about one another.
Join us on Tuesdays from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. as we discuss all the issues.
I will never forget the trust you put in me.
Municipal, provincial, federal, and any issue of national importance, we will talk about on Point. So do join us.
Okay, and welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us. Okay, so you're hitting your audience with Business of the Week, and
that's just one small.
Yeah. So what else are you doing in terms of how you're engaging with your audience and your community?
Content-wise,
yeah,
we're talking content.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. What is everything we do? So we do Business of the Weeks. We do Best of London series. So we will poll Londoners. What's your favorite place to get nachos, chicken wings, barber shop, literally, plumbers, electricians, literally everything.
Yep.
Sorry, I have this throat thing that's been going on for a month. We do reviews on neighborhoods.
Yep.
I'm trying to even think, I feel like we're going a million miles. Any little idea we get, we try and do. Those are probably right now our three biggest ones. The reason why we're kind of sticking to that right now is you're going to start to see a little bit more chatter from us on this. We're in the middle of a rebrand.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to talk about it too much other than saying summer of this year, we are going to be flipping the switch and we're going to be doing something that is... If you think what we're doing right now with Santa Knows Best is interesting, this is going to blow your brains out.
Oh, wow. Now I'm left here hanging.
Yeah, that's part of it, right? Very few people know the new name.
Yeah.
We have the logo done.
Like a complete rebrand.
Yeah.
Like a complete rebrand.
And we're talking, if people think we're doing a lot of content right now, we're going to about 5x the content.
Wow, holy smokes.
Yeah.
How's that even possible?
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Well, you've got a team behind you guys, right?
We have a lot of people. So if you look at, currently, I guess Santa Sells House's team, which is really the real estate side of things, and then Santa Knows Best, which is also the real estate side of things. It's just a different name, but it's the same organization. Yeah. We have 3 agents, our own dedicated admin staff, our own dedicated marketing team, our own inside sales agents. So we have 2 phone animals, as we kind of call them.
Smokes.
So they just man Online leads for real estate is essentially what they man.
Right.
That's what we shoot for. Is we want a 5-minute response time to people because that's
Of course.
that's what the
They'll just
the
go somewhere
response
else.
window is. Or they're gonna.
Yeah.
You call somebody 30 minutes later, they have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, wait, what?
You just
I
that's
looked
how
at
we are,
where?
right? And then we also have a creative team, so we have actual content writers.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess really when you look at it, there's really, in some way, shape, or form, about 12 of us.
Wow.
Not everybody's full time, obviously. Like
Right.
a content writer, we don't need a content writer 40 hours a week, but we have 2 that we use more consistently, and then I think we have 4 to 6 that we can go for kind of like one-off pieceworks. More is like 4. And then now we're also starting to do more event coverage on things as well. So when there's events going on in the city, like the Beer and Barbecue show was just on. So we do little promos with these different companies now because we can get attention.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
our Facebook reach, as an example, we cap out so Facebook measures in 28-day time frames.
Yeah.
We cap out at 140,000. We can't really,
Wow.
as of right now, we haven't been able to push past that. Fall of this year, I will probably double that reach.
That's
with what we have
crazy.
planned.
And I like how you're taking a true company approach to your business and to your team, where every successful company has multiple departments, each focusing on what they need to focus on, and providing that overall experience for their audience. And you don't see, I mean, you see a bunch of teams doing it, but I mean, nothing as organized and as efficient as I think you guys are doing it for sure.
Yeah, we probably put a lot more thought in the background that we probably don't talk about it as much. I mean, everything we do, there's a reason for it. It's like, okay, you talk real estate, like, why do we do articles on neighborhoods? We're indexing the city. No one's doing that.
Right.
People are using, call it like platforms that are very easy and user friendly, like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, YouTube, all of these things, right? People are using those, but they're not. The problem with just focusing on that I see is that you're actually leaving a lot on the table.
Right.
Everybody needs to go kind of like divert back to what people started talking about, call it 5 to 10 years, depending on who you were talking to 5 to 10 years ago. A blog is a digital asset. So when you look at what we do, we put everything on our blog first, and then we generally push it out from there.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if you just go to Facebook, and now this is hard because I don't have time to do it. The only reason we can do this is because we're a team, right? Single agents, it's very difficult to pull this off unless you want to work 1 million hours a week, right? But we always focus as it's our content, it's our digital asset. So we want to be in full control.
Right.
Like, what if the U.S. Senate shuts down Facebook tomorrow?
Right. Completely agree.
You lose everything unless you have it someplace else. Now, you can always go and download stuff. And I mean, if you have video, you put it on YouTube, and you've got another way. YouTube's an easy platform to actually share and host videos. But we want to own everything we create for 50 years.
Well, absolutely.
Till the internet blows up.
Yeah, because we talked about that before. Because you like guys like me, like you, we're spending a lot of money in the content that we put out there.
Tons.
So video, audio, everything that like the show. We're spending a lot of money on what we do, and losing it to the algorithms of Facebook is a big mistake.
Yep.
So after a ton of research, I'm like, how can I make the best of this content? And obviously hitting all platforms, but you're right, like transcribing the videos and putting them into blogs on your own website, or maybe a secondary website or a landing page or something like that, something where it holds weight on, Google and other search platforms, right?
Well, where we struggle as realtors is we want instant gratification.
Yeah.
And that's just like programming DNA of a human being.
Right.
We just want instant gratification. And when you play the online game, I mean, you can have instant gratification if you have an unlimited pocketbook. But for the most part, everything is baby steps. Like where we are today in our content and our business, we figure that we're probably 2 years ahead of where we thought we would be, which is shocking.
Right.
And maybe 5, like 4. We're 2 years in, and we're about year 4 or 5 on the plan is where we really
that's
are.
great.
But it becomes an addiction.
Tell
That's
me
why.
about it, yeah.
It becomes an addiction, right? Where it's, like for the first little while, if, like for a Monday market update, for instance, if Monday was a holiday, we would still go and film.
Right.
We were just like, no, it's the Monday market update. We got to do it. Yeah. Now we're kind of being more lenient where it's like, okay, like at the end of the day, it's not a big deal if we do the Monday market update on the Tuesday because Monday was Canada Day or whatever it was. Right. Like people are like, it's okay, but you get addicted and paranoia kicks in because you're like, the audience expects this to be a certain way. And I know there are people that on Mondays, they expect the Monday market update.
Right.
Like I've gotten messages. If it's not out by 3:00, I will get a message from, and we're not talking like 50 people, like maybe 1 or 2, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be awesome if it was 50 people, but it's 1 or 2 people, and they're like, dude, man, where's the market update?
Yeah.
It's coming. We got backlog today. Like, because at the end of the day, even though we're doing all of these things, there's like, the priority is always our clients and our clients in real estate. So it's always making sure that our buyers are taken care of and our sellers are taken care of. So at the end of the day, if we have a crazy busy weekend and let's say we have 4 listings that sell, that could create a backlog on the Monday where it just delays us from getting certain things done. But at the end of the day, we are a real estate company. Our primary focus is always our clients. And you have to have that because if we don't have that, well, we can't do the creative. We can't do the content. We can't do all of these other things. So it's interesting.
Yeah, no, I agree, and sometimes I can relate as well because, like when you're doing all these things, videos, podcasts, touring the town, taking clients out, you kind of drop the ball on some of the things that you need. Well, maybe not you, but I know I've dropped the ball a couple of times where you're like, oh shoot, where am I going to make time for that or this? We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna see you back here soon.
With so many newspapers within the community, it's sometimes hard to tell what separates us from the rest. Most of the time, they all brag about the same thing. The large circulations, tons of online views, and it can go on and on. But what really separates the Toronto Caribbean newspaper apart from everybody else? Well, it's simple. Our service. No, seriously. Hi, I'm Grant Browning, founder and CEO of the Toronto Caribbean newspaper. I have over 20 years of branding and marketing experience, and I've worked with countless companies and corporations to do one thing, and that is to raise their profits with their brand. With over 40 years of combined experience in branding and marketing, our amazing staff is fully prepared to sit down and figure out exactly what you need to stand out from your competitors.
The reason why you don't see that anymore is because
the ad is too powerful, bring too much people.
So what are you waiting for? Give us a call today. We'll be happy to help.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
All right, and we're back, and over the break, we're talking about a really interesting concept about where the real estate industry is going. It's no doubt that you've probably seen the massive marketing machine that is a real estate team, or maybe a friend, or you've seen real estate teams in your own market. But we were talking that's really the future of real estate and where it's going.
It is,
right?
It's kind of that pendulum everything's a pendulum. It's the ebbs and flows of whatever market you're in. Let's rewind to the way real estate was when we were in diapers or not even born.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
So we're talking like I don't even know how old you are. I'm 39.
32.
Okay. So
this
then
year,
you're a
though.
hell of a lot younger than I am, but we're talking even like pre me knowing what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Like Soother and Bubba in the mouth kind of thing.
Right.
When you had, let's say, like a company like Canada Trust, for instance, used to be a real estate company, and it was structured a lot more the way corporate business was, where it wasn't independent contractors all marketing differently. It was the Canada Trust brand, and then they got out of it. I don't know why they got out of it. That doesn't matter to me. It's just I only look at certain things. And then it became the whole independent contractor model, which we all love. Why? Because we want to sit in our underwear till noon for the most part.
Yeah.
When you talk averages, the average agent doesn't want to work an 80-hour work week.
No.
They don't. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We're all entitled to do whatever we want. But the problem that we're seeing now is we think technology's making things easier. It's making it more complex. Because, and especially when you start going team against a single agent, I've been on listing appointments where it's our team against a single agent, and a single agent's marketing cannot compete with us because, again, we can accomplish so much more. We have more hands. We have more revenue to throw at things.
Right. Revenue is the biggest thing.
That's the biggest
The
one.
cost of attaining business and even retaining business is
it's going
through
up.
the roof.
It's getting more expensive every day. You know, when you start talking about, you know, advertising as an example, or the marketing component to, you know, I'm going to list your home, we're going to sell it for top dollar with the fewest inconveniences in the least amount of time. Well, how do you do that and manage 6 social platforms?
You can't.
You can't.
You can't do it.
Not unless you sacrifice what your real job is. A realtor is just a fancy term. Sorry, can you throw a trademark symbol or whatever, the copyright thing, right? We're not supposed to say that word. A sales representative or a broker who sells real estate.
Right.
Okay? Our job is to lead generate and lead follow up. That is it. It just doesn't sound sexy.
Right.
There's nothing sexy about that. But that is our job.
Especially when you're calling them in your underwear.
Right. Which I know some people who do.
Yeah, true.
I know some agents who have 2 beers before they cold call.
Oh, jeez.
Just to loosen up.
I don't.
But you do what you need to do to get you to where you need to go.
That's right. Well, I mean, it's just when it comes to competition, and your ability to essentially get your name out there, get clients, lead gen, provide amazing service. You just can't compete with the teams because, as you said, they're not. Even if you're making more money than the team has more to lose to not do it than you, because you're responsible for all these other different people, especially your existing clients and your employees and everything like that. And it's not just realtors now. You're employing marketers, content creators, ISAs, people who admins,
it just
people
gets
who
bigger and
expect
bigger.
an actual paycheck every week, right?
Like, I mean, 5 years from now, you're probably going to have somebody who does just VR stuff. I don't even know what that looks like, but it's coming.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and especially with realtors, I find that we're always looking for that next step to help grow our business. It's just, whose hands is it going to fall into? Yours or the bigger teams who are going to take advantage of it? Yeah. Because by the time you've learned it and figured it out, somebody has been, and you're still working on your own business, somebody on a big team has already hired somebody to really just focus on that one avenue. So it's really a crazy concept to think about. And I worry that some teams are doing it on such a large scale that they're losing the serviceability. Not all large teams. Do not get me wrong, but
it can happen.
But it can happen where you're losing that service part of it because you just have too much going on. But I've seen a lot of other teams that are doing a lot of business, but they're so on it because they've hired somebody to take care of all the service.
Sorry.
No problem.
In this type of market, so London's one of the hottest markets in our country, right?
Yeah.
The last report that I saw, we were number 2.
Crazy.
Second to Gatineau, which I would almost argue is not even really number 1, and that sounds weird to say. It's like, well, they're right across from Ottawa.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't matter what's going on. That's our country's capital. It will always be fine, right?
Yeah.
But we are seeing such an increase in business that I will tell you this right now, and I don't mind saying it. I guess talking about it is what helps you kind of plug the hole.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee our customer services drop because of it.
Yeah.
And why that is because, I mean, you put up a listing at a hot price point, we get 80 showing requests from agents. I get out-of-town agents calling me, paging me because they don't understand how our systems work.
Yeah.
Then you get flooded with emails. Then you get flooded with Realtor.ca leads. Then you get flooded with all of targeted ads. And it's just when you normally would get maybe, let's say, 10 sign calls to put a term to it, you're getting 100.
Yeah.
So it's hard. And then from a business perspective, it's very difficult then to go and plug that hole because what do?
Mm-hmm.
Just run out and hire a random person to do it?
Yeah. Make things worse.
It could.
Yeah.
Right? It could, because is this only going to last 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year?
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple things going on where, I mean, in truth, we're going to need about another 5 to 8 sales reps with a couple projects that we're working on. And we will need, from an administrative standpoint, probably another 2 to 3 people. And we're talking in the next 6 months.
Wow.
And that keeps me up at night because I do worry about it. I know how I'll act. I'll just work 24/7 until I'm sick and I can't talk and I can't walk and someone throws me in the hospital bed. I'm a workhorse. I just keep going. My wife, it'll drive her nuts, but I know who I am and I know how I am. So that's my paranoia comes from that. But it's a hard one to fix all the time because you need the right type of person when it comes to handling, white glove, client care.
Mm-hmm.
And truth, every client kind of has a bit of a different expectation of what that looks like. Because
totally agree.
Just want to talk to one person start to finish on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not necessarily the most efficient way of doing things. I would tell you right now, I'm not a paperwork person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. But I love sales. I love doing the deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gets me up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it's nothing. It just comes down to that burning desire to sell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting, right? That's that fire in the belly. But then it's like, oh, I got to get paperwork places. No, don't want to do it.
Yeah, I know. And I think, so where did it all start for you? Then let's do this. We've got a few minutes before the next break. So what do you suggest somebody does? So let's say they're in a market that's maybe on its way up. Maybe it's been up for a while and they're struggling to grow because they can't wear all the hats. So when is a good time for somebody to start a team? I mean, there might be no right answer, but.
Yeah, there probably isn't a right answer because let's be honest, it's not for everybody.
Right.
Some people can't stomach the idea of, your first hire is always an admin.
An admin, okay. So
right?
You go from there first.
It's always an admin. I know a lot of people right now are thinking, no, I need to find somebody who can do marketing stuff. No. Your admin takes care of that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it truly is an administrative role as the first hire. Where some people struggle with these types of things, and I think in real estate, one topic that gets ignored is coaching.
Yeah.
I will tell you right now, my real estate business and my personal life changed drastically when I hired a coach.
Mm-hmm.
My coach is Marianne Gillespie from Red Apple Coaching.
That's right.
She is the most brilliant businesswoman I know. I can tell you this, our team would not be where it is today if we didn't have her.
It's powerful.
It's very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I could point to it on an Excel sheet and show growth of business and profitability and different things like that. But I mean, that's probably when you really roll it back, to me, that's the most important component.
And so what do you think?
If you want to go to a high level, especially a team, because you are talking about high level business creation, you need help.
Mm-hmm.
Pro sports players have coaches. They have multiple coaches.
Of course.
We don't talk about it enough in our industry.
So what do you think, if you could say, one of the biggest takeaways of working with a coach? I mean, just systems, leadership. I mean, obviously it's all of them, but
Guidance.
guidance.
Sometimes it's just you're having a crummy time and you need someone to talk to.
True. Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest, man. Like, I've had times in my career where I've thought about pull and shoot,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm just like,
Wow,
this
wow.
feels so brutal. Like, why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's just having somebody who, has been helping you through the growth of your business, who they'll just listen. They won't necessarily say a whole lot. And then maybe at the end, they'll be, they kind of slap you in the face. And it's
Yeah.
like, they
Pull it
remind you,
together,
remember,
man.
why are you
Pull it
actually
together.
doing this? Like,
Yeah.
great. You cried and you whined for a little bit. Now let's just pull up the socks and get back to the grind.
Right. I like where this conversation's going. So let's go to the break just a little bit earlier and stay with us. We'll come right back.
Hello everyone, my name is Jermaine Chambers, and I'm very excited to tell you about the newest political and current affairs program coming here to Brampton. It's called On Point.
The first step of true reconciliation is learning more about one another.
Join us on Tuesdays from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. as we discuss all the issues:
I will never forget the trust you put in me.
municipal, provincial, federal, and any issue of national importance. We will talk about on Point. So do join us.
Okay, thanks for coming back, guys. So if you're with us just before we went on to the break, we are kind of talking about, pulling shoot, and it's interesting that you brought that up, because I'd be lying if it wasn't something that I thought of probably multiple times. I would say a week, but I'm going to say a day.
Like, you
A
get in a
day.
rut, right?
You
Like,
do.
you have that week from hell.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
this stuff,
nothing
yeah.
can touch you when you're on fire. Nothing can touch you. Even one deal, nothing can touch you.
Yeah.
But it's so funny that, even just one little, okay, home inspection came back. Okay, something, there was a mix-up somewhere along the way with the deal. Maybe there was a miscommunication with clients. Maybe, I don't know, you got a really bad review on Facebook or Google or something like that. But there's other days, where you're totally in love with your business. But on the days that you're not, I mean, how can we handle that? Do you know? Because I don't know.
Well, for me, it's generally like our business
It's
is
a deep
pretty
question.
big. Where it takes a lot now for me to kind of have a really off moment.
Mm-hmm.
But also, the benefit of having a team is if I am really in the wrong frame of mind, I can actually say I need to check out for a day.
Yeah.
I need to check out for half a day and make myself scarce because I'm just going to do the business harm. But I think the key is when to prepare for moments like that, because everyone's going to have it, right? Everybody
course.
will. It's build a business so big that you can afford to have those moments,
Mm-hmm.
and it in the end doesn't really affect what you're doing, if that makes
Right.
any sense.
No, it does. I guess the only thing, you just kind of got to step back and you got to remember why you got into this industry in the first place. Because, have you ever worked for somebody else before you got into real estate?
Yes.
Right? So did I.
And I've had good experiences.
Of
I
course I
would
have.
say
No, of course.
I've actually I'm going to say probably really the only gig that I didn't enjoy is I was working for a major financial institution.
Mm-hmm.
That lasted 6 horrendous months.
Wow.
After that, though, when you really look at it, other than that job, every job I had was working for, call it a small or medium business,
Mm-hmm.
was working for an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything from so my father owned a hardware store in the building that we're in downtown where a team operates out of. So, working for my dad when I'm 12 stocking shelves in the
Yeah.
hardware store kind of thing.
Yeah.
To then, the first job away from the nest
Mm-hmm.
was working at a gas station, where now gas stations seem to be getting owned more in big chunks and groups by organizations, right?
Yeah.
But it was a mom and pop gas station, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the owner was there for open, for close, popped in multiple times during the day. I worked for a gentleman, Ron, who owned a company called Simply Mobile. He owned a bunch of Bell World stores. He was a great guy to work for. Learned piles. I will say the one thing, and obviously because that's linked to Bell, their training was dynamite. And I think sometimes we forget the one benefit big corporations can bring is training. But it was always other than the one. I was always working for basically a small medium business, which I love, which is also then kind of like going back to the whole business of the week thing. I'm fortunate. We've built an absolutely amazing real estate company. I work with some absolutely amazing human beings. We have the ability to give back. And that's part of also what our business of the week is. It's like not just creating content, but it's actually creating fun content that we enjoy.
Of course. And obviously the business owners appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
And so for the realtors out there that are looking to get started on something, like, I know, oh my gosh, was it Buffini or somebody?
Get a coach. Just get a coach.
But they
check your ego at the door and get a coach.
Yeah.
Ego prevents people from doing it because they think they know everything. Then go look at your tax return.
Yeah.
And that sounds maybe a weird way of saying it, but our industry is pretty known for everybody walking around like we're millionaires. And I'm sure, like, I mean, to a certain degree, you could say I will say that. I definitely act like it sometimes. Sure. Because part of it is a show. But
agreed.
It's like, I mean, but that is part of what, like, part of it, right? But it's like, if you really want to get better, it's just like, I am not that smart.
I use that line a lot.
I'm very good at the concept of R&D, which I call rip off and duplicate. I can look at things and say, well, this makes sense, and I can deconstruct it and rebuild it in our world very easily. That's just, I don't know why, but I can do that, right? But you have to have kind of like the honest internal conversation with yourself and say, okay, like, I want to make my business amazing. Well, if you've never made an amazing business, it's a hell of a lot harder grind than if you get a coach who, again, is exposed to all these other people who have been through what you're going through, and you can get there a lot faster.
Yeah.
Like, I'm convinced I could probably accomplish what I'm accomplishing without a coach, not at the speed at which we're accomplishing it.
And like earlier on, you said that how fast you were accomplishing what you wanted to do.
Because it's accountability. They keep you accountable. They're not there to be your best friend.
Yeah.
And that gets clouded, I think, sometimes. Sometimes they are there to make you feel like garbage.
Well, because that's the thing. I've heard so many people, obviously, I understand that investing in yourself leads to growth and success. But, you know, there's a lot of people that don't feel the same way, not necessarily because they're ignorant. It just might be because they're connecting with the wrong people. Because I've heard so many stories. Oh, my coach called me today, but all they wanted to do was talk about, you know, their breakup or, you know, their kids or something like that. So I think it's just, you know, try to get in touch with as many different people as you can that you know are making big leaps in their business, and maybe even getting in touch with them when they're just starting that journey, because you're just starting your journey and figuring out what works in those types of situations. I find are so strong, because when I was looking for coaches, I was like, okay, well, they're working with these people who are massive. Like, how do I know that this just isn't an expense? Because they're already making a ton of money. Why would they need a coach?
Yeah.
Right? But I think, you know, connecting with somebody who's just kind of getting on that journey is a smart idea. What do you think?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And like you said earlier, that a coach, not only, like, coaches are still going to be learning
coaches
while.
Are just like an accountability partner.
Yeah.
It could be, like in real estate, it could be somebody in the office where you're like, okay, here are my goals. I think the problem is most people don't write down their goals. Most people don't do a business plan. Most people don't map out, you know, which we do an economic model. So it's you look at the previous year and you say, okay, you analyze the business. Where did everything come from?
Yep.
And you look at your numbers, even what was your average sale price on a home? What was your average GCI, percentage, dollar amount? I don't get clouded on percentages because I think they're nonsense, because you could 10% of zero is zero. The dollars are oxygen for a company, right? So it's really the dollar revenue that you have to look at. But the easiest way for somebody to just get started, it's finding a serious accountability partner where you set ground rules. It's, I want to get this done this week. But before you can do the this week, you have to look at the this year. So it's in the next 12 months, I want to sell X homes. You divide that out and say, and let's just say 12, just easy math. Like I said, I'm not the smartest one here.
Right.
So you want to sell 12 homes. There's 12 months in the year. You want to do one a month. Great. Now then you look at that and you say, okay, one a month. How do I accomplish that? Back to real estate's nothing but lead generation, lead follow-up.
Absolutely.
And the problem is 99% of people don't follow up.
Yeah.
And the follow-up sometimes is just like, hi.
Hi.
How are you? How can I help you?
Yeah. Are you
That's
still
literally
looking
it.
to buy a house this year?
That's it.
Like, because you have all these online leads that some would consider
We
dead
have-
leads.
We have 1,800 people right now searching
Yeah.
for homes on our IDX website.
Yeah.
1,800.
Yeah. And out of that 1,800, not like
Not a lot of them are buying.
are
They're
gonna
just
be
curious.
absolutely.
But they're in our pond.
of course, and it's important to keep them there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just reaching out, saying hi. Hey, it's Matt calling from the Santa Sells Houses team. I noticed you looked at 3 properties in the Oak Ridge neighborhood.
Yeah.
Just wondering, is now the time that you want to make a move? No, actually, it's not. I live in Oak Ridge, and I was just curious because I saw these homes sell.
Right.
Perfect. You know? And then it goes from there.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
what would need to happen to make you move or whatever, right?
So are you guys doing a lot of like internet email campaigns with these leads as well, or are you just kind of letting them search?
We do have a MailChimp e-newsletter that goes out 26 times a year.
Okay.
Content in it, 10% real estate, 90% community.
Yep.
Because your parents are the only people who care when you list a home and sell a home.
Yeah.
Nobody else cares.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But it's all content around the city. Our distribution list, I think we're around 12,000, and we fluctuate an open rate of typically around 23 to 26%. We've been as high as 46%.
Yeah, nice. And I find everybody that I talk to, depending on what style of branding they portray out there, like, cause I've got a 5,000, 6,000 list, and I'm averaging about 47%. But if you look at what I'm putting inside, there's nothing. I'll put a link. Hey, click, listen to the latest podcast. But the majority is like, what's going on in Niagara-on-the-Lake? The Shaw Festival.
Yes.
Oh, this winery's having a discount. Oh, click here to
like,
view
you
the
need to
market
start the
stats.
whining about real estate segment. And I don't know what that looks like if you drink a bottle of local wine with somebody and talk to I don't know.
Yeah.
But that would tie into Niagara on the Lake.
Yeah, no,
so
I agree.
much.
We do have a segment called the Wine Estates Club. Just the timing of year, we got our first winery in, and then just with the time, everybody got so
Tough.
busy.
Yep.
So that's more of a winter thing that
Yep.
we're probably going to be picking up back in November. Well, I think that's it, man. That's basically all the time we have left.
Cool.
But it's that time of this particular segment where you plug yourself. So where can people find you? Where can people look at your videos, et cetera, et cetera?
So where can people find us? Our more hardcore real estate stuff, Santa Sells Houses team. Pretty much we're on every social media platform with the exception of Snapchat. It just doesn't work in my world.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then for our, truthfully, for real estate agents who are out there trying to get some ideas on content, go and search us out on Santa Knows Best.
Yeah.
That's more the hardcore community focused stuff, which I believe is the much more interesting side when we start
Right.
talking content. And feel free to reach out to me, direct message me on Facebook, Instagram, shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to help anybody with ideas or explain, maybe in a little bit more detail why we do specific things on some of our content.
Yep.
Hit me
idea.
up on Facebook, Matthew Santagapita. I'm also on Instagram, Matt_Santagapita.
Beautiful. Okay, guys, that's it for us today. Thanks again.
Thank you.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
Hello everyone, my name is Jermaine Chambers, and I'm very excited to tell you about the newest political and current affairs program coming here to Brampton. It's called On Point.
The first step of true reconciliation is learning more about one another.
Join us on Tuesdays from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. as we discuss all the issues.
I will never forget the trust you put in me.
Municipal, provincial, federal, and any issue of national importance we will talk about on Point. So do join us.